Hello everyone, my name is Jaybird, and welcome back to the sad story of Emmeline Burns. That's all I have to say. Now I can't help but wonder who has it worst, even though I know making such a comparison is unfair. Give me a second here, I need to clean my glasses. There's this huge smudge in it, and I don't know why. There we go. Okay, now it's better. Sorry, it's blowing hair on my face. Is it Emmeline whose dad loved her dearly to such an extent and wrung the life right out of her lungs? Or is it me, whose dad loved me so little he ran away before I was born and never tried to talk to me? They're both dad in their own ways. They're both bad in their own ways. And if my mom had bowed to Saul Andrew's wishes, I would be dead too. The fact remains, however, that I am not. Emmeline, meanwhile, is. What the fuck? Why is there smudge in here? What the fuck? What did I do to deserve the smudge in my glasses? Oh my god, why? Oh, Jesus Christ. The struggles of glasses are real, folks. The struggles of glasses are real. Okay. Do you resent him? Do you resent him?
I do not know. I have had a lot of time to think about it, but I still can't come to a conclusion. Trying to describe it with words would seem inadequate somehow, but I am upset. I wish it had never happened. I know Father thought he had to do it, and I am sure it took him a good deal of thought before that he was able to even consider killing me and my mother. He was not a violent person. I know it might sound cliched, but he did not even like killing moths or spiders. And yet, a person like him, spineless grandmother patient said, was still able to murder his wife and child, then slit his own throat. Our financial situation must have been bad if he thought that this was the only way he could save us. I don't profess to fully understand it myself, but there must have been a reason behind his actions. Men, even the most hot-headed men, do not murder their wives and daughters on sudden whims or whispers from fairies. He must have been in a difficult position, so I feel some sympathy, but at the same time, it just isn't fair! He never even asked me what I wanted, and I certainly did not want to die. I wanted to stay alive, but there were so many more things I wanted to do. I don't know what things I wanted to do, not exactly, but I had my whole life ahead of me. I thought I could think about it later. I thought I would have enough time. But I was naive. I just wanted to spend more time with Cornelia, even though I was young and I did not understand a great deal about the world around me. I know that I loved her. I loved her with all of my heart. And then my father killed me, and that was the end of that. At least it should have been. I should have stopped loving her the moment my heart stopped beating, but things are not always so simple. And do you know what happened to Cornelia? Bits and pieces. She was upset after I died, I think. She cried a lot. Then she grew older and was able to put what had happened behind her. She'll be dead now. She must have been dead for years and years.
Emmeline smiles bitterly, though that is a wicked smile.
Almost as long as I have. You didn't try to talk to her? I did, but she could not see me. I tried my hardest, but it all felt so pointless. I could see her face, but I could not dry her tears. I wanted to tell her I was all right as a dead girl can be anyway. But there was nothing I could do. In the end, I decided to leave her alone. She had moved on, and I knew I should too. Following Cornelia did not make her happy, and it definitely did not make me happy. It just made me feel even more alone. I have not left this graveyard in almost a century. There has been no reason to leave. I just stayed here and slept. A century might seem like a long time, but it slipped by rather quickly. Nobody could see me, so nobody bothered me. At least until today. You are the first person I have met during the last 150 years who can see me. It is most peculiar. Well, I'm quite a peculiar person. I have always liked graveyards. Ah, yes. You told me that earlier, I remembered. You don't think I'm weird, do you? Perhaps a little, but I am rather happy about it. If you were not weird, as you said, you would not be able to see me, and I would still be alone. This might not be because of me, though. What do you mean? You can see me with your own two eyes, correct? You have not stolen anybody else's, have you? No, of course not. It's just, I owe my life to the people who came before me. Maybe these eyes were a gift from Rose Bradford. Rose? She's one of my ancestors. Apparently she was a medium. That's what Mother says, anyway. Yet, if these eyes are a gift from Rose Bradford, the self-proclaimed White Witch of Beverly, they haven't been of much use until now. I've never seen a ghost before, even though I've been to countless graveyards in my time. I have, however, always been strangely adept in the art of finding dead bodies, even when they're buried deep beneath the earth. Does this mean something? Anything? Nothing at all? Maybe the whole world is crawling with ghosts, thicker than the fog that creeps across the ground, and they just never wanted to make my humble acquaintance. Perhaps they were hiding from me, sitting in the branches of trees, or peeking out from behind the stained glass church windows, whispering to themselves. Why would they approach me for help anyway? I'm only a young girl, only 14. I didn't know I was 14, too, but Emmeline did. Was there a reason for that? Now that I think about it, the her you said I resembled. Oh, yes, well, you really do look like Cornelia. It took me quite by surprise. For a few moments I thought you really might really be her, but that was wrong, of course. You are not Cornelia. You are your own person, Verity. No, my name isn't Verity. We both know that, and if I don't know if I am my own person, and I don't know if I am my own person either. How could I be given my name, Toma, diminutive from Thomas, picked because my real name was stolen 2 weeks before I was born? Andrew is a last name given to me by my dad, not as a gift, but as an afterthought, like a balled-up pair of socks for Christmas. My name was defined by men I've never met before, a dead grandfather, an absent father. It doesn't belong to me. Nothing belongs to me. At the moment, I'm nothing more than a composite of old names and long-lost ancestors, Bradfords and Bowers and Kendalls and Lintons and... Wait a minute, Linton? Ooh, spicy. Emmeline, can I ask you something? Of course. Nothing would make me happier. I haven't had much of a chance to talk to others over the last century.
I swallow. My lips feel cracked and dry. My fingertips twitch.
Cornelia's last name. What was it? Why, it was Linton. It has been such a long time since I last saw her, but I would never forget that.
Linton, was it? Cornelia Linton. It could be a coincidence, of course, but I don't know if I believe in coincidences. Not after everything that's happened today. That was the reason why Emmeline approached me. She thought I was Cornelia. Maybe in a sense I am, or at least a small part of me is. And it is with this sudden realization that I feel a light dawn upon me. It's not a real light. The sun remains firmly, stubbornly hidden behind the clouds. Oh, really? I could have figured that out. But it is a light nonetheless. And it is sudden. It is sudden understanding. A whole wealth. Did I just say wealth? What's wrong with me? A whole wealth of memories, a treasure chest of moments shared by the Lenten lake, of girlish laughter and raspberry lemonade and kisses that taste of carbonation that I should have no knowledge of. These scenes should be sepia-tainted like old photographs found in the back of a charity store from years gone well and truly by. I've never even been kissed before. How would I know what that feels like? But I can imagine it. In fact, I don't need to imagine it, because it really did happen. Not to the current me, but to one of my relatives in another time, in a place not so very far away.
Cornelia?
Emmeline stares at me, or is it me, with wide eyes hardly daring to believe? I can't entirely believe it either. My body is still mine, but it's not at the same time. I can sense another presence residing inside me, blown in by the cold autumn breeze. It lingers hazy and ephemeral, shy to make itself known, but desperate to speak. I feel my heart pounding, but the sensation is strangely unfamiliar. My fingers tremble, or are they hers? I open my mouth to speak, but another's voice comes out. Ah, achievement unlocked in loving memory.
Emmy, is it really you? Cornelia,
Emmeline presses a hand against her mouth, trying to stifle a gasp of disbelief. But isn't that unnecessary? How can a ghost breathe? The air was choked out of her lungs a long time ago. Okay, you didn't need to bring that up. Oh my god. But now, more than 100 years after her death, Emmeline has a whole new reason to be breathless.
I thought you had already passed on. Even after you died, I was never able to find you. At any rate, your body wasn't even buried here. That's right, I was buried where I died in Wiltshire. I was 73. And you died peacefully? Yes, I am not a ghost. I had no regrets, so I had no reason to come back. And yet, right now, well, this was rather unexpected, to tell you the truth. I had been resting peacefully, minding my own business, when, all of a sudden, I found myself here inside this body. It must have been years since I looked so young. I must apologize to the young girl whose body I've stolen. It is awfully rude, and it wasn't intentional. Don't worry about it, Cornelia. I'm sure Verity won't mind. Verity? That's strange. I didn't think that was her name. At any rate, I must thank Miss Verity for her kindness. Sharing one's identity with somebody else is quite a gesture.
It might be to other people, but it isn't to me. I already know what it feels like to share my identity with somebody else. I've been living my whole life in Amelia Miller's shadow. Compared to that, a little light possession is nothing.
This outfit is hardly appropriate, though.
Cornelia flushes, tugging at the hem of my school skirt.
There is rather too much leg on display. Oh, and what about the wind? I'm surprised the girls of today don't catch their deaths of cold. You sound like a crotchety old lady, Cornelia. I am an old lady, and you are too. Stop trying to act cute.
Emmeline giggles, peering up at Cornelia with that familiar, mischievous grin. It's the same grin she wore 150 years past, during the lazy summer days by the lake, when she would press kisses against Cornelia's lips and recite snatches of misremembered poetry to her.
But you still blush like a fair maiden, Cornelia. You didn't change at all. And neither did you, Emmy, though I hoped that you might. That attitude of yours was always so unseemly, Mother agreed. Beatrice Linton wouldn't know what fun was if it smacked her across the face. My mother was a very commendable person. She might have been a little strict, but she was not without her good points. She was awfully upset when she heard what had happened to you, Emmy. Yes, what happened to poor little Emmy. And you, Cornelia, did you miss me too? Do you really need to ask that question? I just wanted to make sure. I know that you cried a good deal, and that upset me, but I don't know. I wanted you to move on and be happy. I really, truly did, but at the same time, I was also scared and jealous too. You really were my first love. I suppose you were my last love too, and all the loves that could have come in between. I just don't want to be replaced. You were my one and only, and I wanted to be the same. Wanted to be the same for you. I know you lived a lot longer than I did, and I know I'm being selfish, but when I think about you loving somebody other than me, it hurts. It hurts so much. I can hardly stand it. Emmy.
Emmeline's shoulders shake, and though her eyes are devoid of tears, maybe crying is a luxury not afforded to ghosts. I'm sure she would be weeping if she could. She looks fragile, like a single push might shatter every single bone in her body. Is that why she avoided Cornelia, though she desperately wanted to see how she was? Was it because she was afraid? But she can't run away now, not anymore. Cornelia takes a few steps forwards, slow and stumbling in her unfamiliar body. When she reaches Emmeline, she links her hands and squeezes gently. Emmeline giggles, wiping stray tears that never even had a chance to fall from the corners of her eyes.
Well, this is certainly new. You would never have been so bold in the past, Nellie. Perhaps not, but I have grown up. I lived a long life. 73 years, was it?
A nod.
73 years? It is an awfully long time to remain obsessed with a skinny young girl who snuck kisses from you in the summer, is it not? Indeed. It's an awfully long time, and yet, despite that, I was never able to forget you. It would be impossible, even if I wanted to. Cornelia?
Cornelia bows her head, perhaps in an attempt to hide her threatening blush, but it does no good. She always used to blush around Emmeline, and that hasn't changed.
Oh, I got married when I was 18.
Oh, shit. I need to do the voices better. Sorry.
I got married when I was 18.
But I will take a screenshot. "73 years, well, that is a long time.
I got married when I was 18. It was a match my mother arranged. She was always so officious, you know. Officious? Okay. So organized, so practical. I wonder why your father did not ask her for advice during the stock market crash. She could have helped. I think he would have been too embarrassed. It was all Grandfather Patience's fault. She was not a particularly nice woman by all accounts. That really is sad. It could have been avoided so easily. That is what I think too. Such thoughts do not do us much good now, though. No, I suppose they do not.
So what about your boo? What about your boo? Monshu? Monboo? Or Bo? I guess it's Bo, not boo. Sorry. I'm getting a little French up in here. Ever since Cupid, man. Ever since Cupid.
So, what about your beau?
Emmeline attempts to smile, though it looks forced, slightly strained at the edges.
Was he a good looker, Cornelia? Did he sweep you off your feet, just like a prince in a fairy tale? Of course not. He was a match my mother chose for me. Do you think she would pair her dear daughter with a feckless sot? So he was sensible, was he? Very sensible. He was twice my age and he was already starting to lose his hair. But he was rich and had land and could afford to look after me. To my mother, that was the most important thing. And not your happiness. According to my mother, money is the root of all happiness. I would like to disagree, but
Emmeline looks down at herself, smiling sadly.
given money can be blamed for the sorry state of affairs my family found themselves in, perhaps there is a germ of truth to that. Perhaps, and I was happy with him in a sense. You loved him? No, I did not love him. He was too old and we were too dissimilar. We did not have a single thing in common. Fortunately, he was not unkind, and that is more than can be said for some men, but I suppose. Oh, I'm sorry, Cornelia. You do not need to be sorry. I may not have been happy, but I was not unhappy. My life was rather comfortable, all things considered. But you did not forget about me? No, I did not. I could not. You really did mean the world to me back then, Emmy, and I loved you with all my heart. Only back then? Well, even now I still care for you. I never stopped caring. I just had to stop remembering. Oh, Cornelia, if my heart had not been stopped, I'm sure it would have skipped a beat.
Oh my god, this shit is too cute. I'm sorry. I gotta end this episode here. There's still more to come. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode of The Sad Story of Emmeline Burns and would like to see more of this game, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye-bye!